Greetings, mate, and welcome aboard. Stuart Charles here, HomeStudioBasics.com, helping you make sound decisions. So, it's been a long time coming, but I'm starting a new channel. In fact, I'm starting more than one, but after thinking it over and praying about it, this one will be the first. Don't fret, I'm not going to stop uploading here at Home Studio Basics, but this separate channel is something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. Over the last few years, I've become so fed up with audio files to the point of wanting to punch a hole in some nearby sheetrock. But instead of doing that and paying lots of fines to my apartment complex, I decided to channel that energy instead into a separate idea. Introducing Audiophiles Anonymous, a place where hopeless addicts like you and me can discuss all things music and not gear. I know, it's a crazy concept. In addition to said discussion of all things music, albums, songs, music history, video essays, song/beat rankings, etc. This channel will also include all the music I'm working on, so if you're one of those people who's been craving some beats, raps, guitar, and anything else I'm doing, this is the place where we can really connect on a deeper level and say bye-bye to all the stupid, incessant, unnecessary, inane, bullshit gear talk and focus on things that matter. So yeah, this channel is a bit tongue-in-cheek, directed at annoying audiophiles who claim they can hear the grass growing, but it's also a very serious endeavor that actually means everything to me. You see, music is near and dear to my heart, and I'm sure that everybody out listening agrees and feels the same way. It's what, despite all the bickering and tomfoolery, ultimately still brings us together. If there were no music, there would be no discussion of gear, and that's always been the point I've tried to drive home like Tiger Woods in his prime. I'm especially excited to share with you all what I've been working on because over the last couple of years I've done a lot of introspection about what it means to be a musician, a beat maker, and a producer. I came to the realization that, not only in music, but as someone who owns a business, I wasn't putting forth 100%. I thought I was, but in reality I figured out through a lot of honest reflection that despite what I'm about to share next, I wasn't utilizing my time the best I could. Heck, I still don't. And I'm not using this as an excuse, so please don't take it that way. But I also recently learned, after tireless research, many tests, and a lot of reading about similar experiences to my own, that I do have somewhat of a mild form of ADHD. Excuse me, sorry. I was also officially tested in 2006 and told I was right on the cusp. This makes sense considering I was incredibly hyper as a kid growing up, and I've always had a hard time focusing on one thing at a time, get distracted very easily, etc. If you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you'll know I can still get pretty hyper and out of control when I'm passionate or excited about something. I understand many factors go into it, but I pretty much tick all the boxes. This doesn't prevent me from getting work done, but if I'm being honest, I do still feel hampered by it, and feel as though if I didn't have it, I could do a lot more. It's not extreme and nowhere near debilitating, as with some cases I've read about, but it does hold me back somewhat, and I've been taking steps to mitigate it as much as possible. For instance, I wrote the video script for the official channel intro, but it took me months to write this one, and I have no idea why. I feel as though I have too many ideas, but think that for whatever reason, I can finish all of them. In this way, I do get overwhelmed because my mind is always trying to go in a million different directions at once in terms of projects, ideas, etc. Then I start to feel anxious that I could be doing thing X or thing Y and so forth. When this happens, I typically shut down, not always, but sometimes, and that's where procrastination kicks in. Am I recording? Growing up, I was told if I just applied myself, I would do well. There were times I did and times I didn't. And I'm not saying the concept of applying yourself isn't true, because it absolutely applies here. But those teachers didn't know my entire story and were somewhat ignorant of my plight. Yes, I lose that term loosely. Strike that, reverse it. Yes, I use that term loosely because there are much worse things in life, but I'd be lying if I said that it hasn't affected my workflow in some way. Now a quick pause to hear a word from our sponsors. Hi, you can trust me, I'm a doctor. If you or someone you know is dealing with ADHD, we can help. Just take this pill with millions of potential side effects including sudden death, but it's fine, somebody else will pay for your funeral. We're back. In any event, I've narrowed down this new channel to a few things, with beats and rhymes being the main focus. I guess now would be a good time to share with you all that the end goal for this project, my music, and my raps is first and foremost to bring glory to God and lead others to Christ. As you all know, I joke around a lot and don't typically take myself very seriously, but I do take my work very seriously. Very seriously. And my faith is something that needs to be shared with people at all costs. Because like Big Crit said, forever is a mighty long time. Where will you spend it? Where will you be in eternity? These are tough questions that many of us don't want to face, but we must because they are incredibly important. And if I'm not being a witness to what God has done in my life, then everything I'm doing is in vain. So the channel will also focus on my testimonies, the things I've experienced over the years that leave no doubt in my mind God is real. And I may even be vulnerable about some things I personally wrestle with on a day-to-day basis. Who knows, but I'm excited about it regardless. In any event, I've been a huge fan of hip hop for decades now, but when I started thinking about all the nonsense I hear in rap lyrics and stuff I glorified in the past, I became ashamed. Filthy, vile, vulgar, disgusting trash disguised as poetry. Things that shouldn't even be repeated here. Things that, when I go back and read the lyrics, I have to rub my eyes and make sure that's what it actually says. Now that I'm older, I've done away with it. I don't listen to it anymore, and wonder how I ever listened to it and polluted my brain with it at all. I love rapping, but instead of following in the footsteps of artists I used to worship, I decided I was going to do the opposite and instead write about things that matter. Sure, I love to freestyle as much as the next guy, and there will be a time and place for that. But my number one aim is to bring honor and glory to God. My hope in this mission is to plant seeds in the hearts of everyone who listens, and that God would water those seeds and all would eventually come to the knowledge and understanding of Christ, even if it means they accept Him in their final dying breath. Additionally, it's always been my heart to connect with people through music, whether that be my own or other artists. This started back in high school, where the goal was to discover bands and artists and share them with very close friends. Times were much simpler in 2005 and people drift apart, that much is certain. I've never really made music to become rich or famous, as I've always felt that defeated the purpose of why I was doing it in the first place. As you'll see in the intro video on the new channel, for me it's always been a form of therapy or release. And to affect someone spiritually or emotionally through my music has been a goal since day one. Any fame or notoriety I receive is secondary and an added bonus. My concern is speaking to your soul, perhaps moving you to tears. So in that sense, beat making is sacred, and I never want to lose sight of that. So for all of my followers, new and old, the ones who have been with me since the beginning, I sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart and hope to connect with you all in some way. I will leave a link below to my new channel as well as my Spotify page. Please subscribe, follow, listen to my music, and help me get the ball rolling. Once you arrive at Audiophiles Anonymous, please watch the video I've prepared as the introduction to the channel. I'll see you there.